This is Peter Kahn here of The Fight Guys, Forbes boxing contributor, CBS Sportsline boxing betting guru, boxing manager, amongst many other things. And I am here today to talk about Manny Pacquiao and Mikey Garcia, what seems to be an inevitable matchup. And I was just inspired to get on the mic this afternoon. This is the day after Shawn Porter put on an excellent performance in a losing effort to Errol Spence Jr., thus resulting in the post-fight interview in which Danny Garcia entered the ring. And it was alluded to the fact that Garcia, being Danny, would be fighting Errol Spence Jr. next. That was then followed up by a tweet from The Athletic's Mike Coppinger, in which he expressed that sources say that a Spence-Garcia fight could be taking place on January 25th. What makes that interesting is it's the week before Super Bowl. It could get a lot of publicity, and who knows where that fight will take place. The Super Bowl obviously is in Miami, and it just looks like Spence is coming right back against Danny Garcia. And where I'm going with this is we have Manny Pacquiao, who is going to be turning 41 years old in December, who hasn't fought since he fought Keith Thurman in an excellent match in which he defeated Thurman, no questions there, dropping him in the first round and then going on to beat him in unanimous fashion. So where I'm going with this is as follows. Leading up to the Spence fight, it had been indicated in a couple of places that the front runners to face Pacquiao would be either Danny Garcia or Mikey Garcia. Well, look, it obviously seems that Danny Garcia is off the table. And we had originally thought that maybe Pacquiao would take the Spence fight, but once this news came out that it would be pretty much either Danny Garcia or Mikey Garcia, in a recent Forbes story that I wrote today and published, I said it really doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to deduce, I'm paraphrasing here, that Mikey Garcia is going to be next up for Pacquiao. And from what I understand, that could be in March of 2020. So how do we feel about that? How do we feel about PBC giving Mikey Garcia yet another crack at another world title in another weight division when the time is running out on Pacquiao? And what we really should be thinking about is, isn't it time that PBC and Top Rank find a way to work together to make Crawford Spence, Spence Crawford, whatever you want to call it, that fight, right? That's the fight I think we want to see. Nothing against Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is phenomenal. But Mikey Garcia is at his best, I would say, at 130, 135. And the same with Pacquiao, right? Pacquiao's fighting 147 was his eighth weight division, right? So, in all fairness to both of them, it's kind of not their ideal weight class. However, that fight doesn't really lead to anywhere. It really doesn't take us. If Garcia beats Pacquiao, well, that's the end of the road for Pacquiao. If Pacquiao, well, let's just go back to that. If Garcia defeats Pacquiao, it's the end of the road for Pacquiao, and it really doesn't set Garcia up for anything meaningful because he already lost to Spence. And it's not like it's going to set him up for a Crawford fight because that would make absolutely no sense when PBC has Errol Spence Jr. sitting right there in what would be a mega fight. Could be a trilogy. Everybody wants to see it. So I know I'm just rambling here, kind of going off the cuff. This is just kind of just more inspired by my thoughts and feelings at the moment instead of something that I've prepared in advance. So forgive me if I'm in rant mode. But the truth of the matter is that I don't understand what they're doing. Pacquiao, it's going to be a great payday. Well, I mean, I do understand what they're doing. They're going to get Pacquiao. Pacquiao brings the people. He brings his people. He brings the world. I mean, he truly is a worldwide star. Garcia is going to bring his fan base. He's going to bring the Mexicans, the Mexican Americans. I mean, look, what made the Spence Garcia fight so successful was that Garcia was involved. Spence can't carry a show by himself. Shawn Porter made the Spence Porter fight more relevant. And that's just a reality. Errol Spence is a great fighter, but this is the business side of it. So while I understand that Pacquiao and Garcia would do great at the box office, would do excellent on pay-per-view, I just don't think it goes anywhere. certainly what would be next for Mikey Garcia. Does he fight Sean Porter? Does he fight Danny Garcia? Do we just keep going in this loop? Does he fight, Keith Thurman in a comeback? I mean, what really happens? What I think has to happen is I think the best fighters need to start fighting the best fighters regardless of what promoters they're with. I think that the promoters owe it to the fans to start making some of these fights. And listen, I'm a manager. I manage fighters. Okay, I have fighters with different promoters. So I understand these nuances and what that means and, some of the difficulties involved because of the networks and money, right? It comes down to money. But I think in this case, because I have it on good authority that Pacquiao is going to be fighting Mikey Garcia, barring some miraculous fantasy land scenario where Floyd Mayweather finally does a rematch with Pacquiao, in which the only person I think is really interested in that right now is Pacquiao, because I don't think the fans want to see it. So, with all that being said, I appreciate you listening to my rant. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We are the Fight Guys. Watch other videos. Like them, share them. And like I said, comment. We like your comments. We appreciate you guys. Once again, thank you for listening.